Well, this is John Black, Super Chemist, on my channel, John Black Super Living. What's screwed up about this problem, I'm going to go over how to get rid of bed bugs, or at least what I'm trying to do. What's screwed up about my situation is I don't even think I have any bed bugs. But my ex-girlfriend moved out, and she moved into a place that has bed bugs, and she's been over here since. And what makes it doubly screwed up for me is on my back I have a whole bunch of whatevers. I don't know if they're bed bug bites or they're just because I get hives on my back. Okay, when I'm nervous or when I'm whatever, and I'm going back to work now. I got to go outside. I mean, it could be that. It could be I'm just breaking out in pimples and hives and stuff, and I'm picking them. I did notice before the sores are just the same sores. They're just happen to be in my hand, where where you stick your hand behind your back. There they are. So I just keep picking them or whatever, and they ain't never healing. So, anyways, I'm going to show you some things. This is the worst thing for someone that has OCD to deal with, because you cannot prove that you do not have them. It's impossible. You can only prove that you do have them. And I cannot find one bug. I have not found one bug yet. So I don't, and the way I'm sleeping, it's almost impossible for me to get bit, and I'm still getting bit. So it's leading me to believe that this is all psychosomatic, but that doesn't change how I have to act and react to this problem, whether it's because I can't prove it. But anyways, I'm going to tell you some things about bed bugs that I learned. Now, the first thing I did, which was a big mistake, should have investigated first, but I didn't. I bombed. Okay, I never bomb for bed bugs. Never. Okay. The reason why is it doesn't kill them. They're all immune to it ever since we stopped using that DDT stuff way back in the whatever. Bugs just started getting immune to stuff. We killed off all the ones that are susceptible. They're already dead. Now we just got the strong ones. All this does is agitate them and make them burrow further into the stuff, into your walls, into your furniture, to get away from the agitation of this. It won't kill them in any way, it might shorten their life by a week or something, but who cares? So this is a big mistake. Don't do it. That's what I did. And I moved on to these. Uh, I have about 40 of these, man, or at least 25, 30. Jeez. I used masking tape. I suggest a better way and an easier, faster way is just get paper towel, make it go around. See how I put it around there? The paper towel around the cup, right? And then just tape it up on the top, and cut off the bottom so you can set the cup down, right? And then the bugs, they can walk on this. But they can't walk on plastic very good, and especially if you coat it with baby powder, they'll never get out of there. They climb up to the top and fall inside. So far, I have not caught one. Not freaking one. You can just use glass. They can't walk on glass or mirrors either. And just get the paper towel, put it around the cup, cut the bottom so it's nice so you can set it down. Then they climb up and you put some little bit of baby powder. See, I got some baby powder in there. And get like a paper towel and make sure you blot it around. Don't just throw it on the bottom or whatever. Put it on the sides too. And they'll get stuck inside there. And I'll show you how you can make because they like CO2. I'll show you how you can try to call them to these cups, which I made CO2 generators, and it's still, I have not caught any. There's two ways to make a nice, slow, steady stream of CO2, right? One is this way right here. I got a milk jug here. You don't need this thing here, really. You can basically I put some yeast in here, one packet of yeast, uh, I don't know, maybe 200-300 grams of sugar, and fill it halfway up so give it some room or whatever. And what you could do if you don't have this, you can buy this from a place for home brewers. But this is basically a bubbler, and what happens is, here, I'll shake it here. You can see. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a cap on there, and that the bubbles come up through a tube, and there's water in here too, right? And the cap has holes on the bottom. So when the cap fills up, you got your CO2 coming up, fills up the cap gets higher and higher, it floats because of the CO2, right? Until it hits these holes. When it hits these holes, the CO2 can come out, and then it comes through this straw, and it's directed. CO2 is heavier than air. It'll go into the cup, overflow it, and flow down the sides. The bugs will smell it or whatever, and come and climb up and get stuck inside or fall inside. Oh, now see, if you don't have this, if you don't want to buy it or whatever, it's only like $2 or something. But you can also have because this is going to stink like yeast and alcohol. You're basically making alcohol. You could have your hose, drill a hole into the cap, and have a hose come out, or your straw or whatever. I would suggest a hose though. And here, let me get a hose. So your hose will go into the milk jug, right? It'll come out. You glue it up or whatever, Elmer's glue, whatever, and or glue gun, epoxy, whatever you want. But the thing is the CO2 is going to come out. Then you put a U-trap in it, like that. See, this is your U-trap. Don't let it get bowed like that. Don't let it get, it's got to have flow. You know what I'm saying? It's just gas, so it just needs a little crack. And then you put some water in here. Just enough to fill it up. Now, as your CO2 is made, right, comes out here and goes through and gets trapped. There's some water here. It can't get through. But you only put a little bit of water there. And it'll push the water up and eventually make it by. That way you won't have to smell the alcohol and the yeast. And then you direct this end of the pipe into your cup, right? And again, it'll fill the cup up, overfill, and all the bugs should come to the thing. This hasn't helped me once. I have not found one stinking freaking bug yet. Another way to do CO2 is just fill this up with water. Well, actually, fill it up with cold water. Get a straw, blow a whole bunch of CO2 into it, just from breathing. So, get your straw and just breathe into the water, you know what I mean? And once you do that a few times, put a cap on it and do the same thing. But you won't have this bubbler here. You just poke a hole in here and put your straw, right? And then glue it up with a glue gun or Elmer's glue or whatever, just so it's sealed. And what happens is, this will heat up to room temperature. As it heats up, there's less CO2 that's soluble in it too, right? So as you put cold water in it, so it holds more CO2, it heats up, the CO2 comes out and is directed into this cup. Now the water also will evaporate. Just from evaporation, the less water there is, the less CO2 it can hold. So as it evaporates and the water comes out, CO2 will come out for that reason too, all right? You can get like 5 or 6 bottles like this with straws, all directed into one cup, so you got a good, CO2 machine. Then I moved on to the plastic cups, putting them under the legs of the furniture, which I don't like walking on plastic, and they don't like walking on styrofoam. So the first thing, even if you don't have bed bugs, this is a good thing to do, because 1 out of 5 homes has bed bugs. So, and the main thing is all these flea markets and picking up furniture on the side of the road. That's what's spreading them all. But anyways, you take 2 pieces of plastic, right? See, I got 2 of them here. This bigger one, now I put masking tape around there. What I should have done was got some paper towel and cut it so that it, or even put it like that, and then taped it up on top here. And it would have saved me a lot of time, for one thing. And I think they can climb on paper better than this masking tape. And I would do that all the way around, just, you know, like I did with the masking tape. You can, well, let me see, you can see how it's all the way around there. See, when they crawl up to the top, you know, it's easy for them, right? But when they get inside, there's plastic, and they have trouble climbing on plastic. And it's impossible for them to climb when there's baby powder on the plastic. So you can see I got baby powder in there, right? So if they climb in, they're going to get stuck. Now, you'll say, well, what about this container you have inside there? They'll just climb up that container. See, there's baby powder on that side, too. See? I don't know if you can tell or not, but there's, see on my hand, I got baby powder on it, and then on the inside, I got masking tape so that they can climb on it. And what I do is this. Look, let's pretend this pen is the foot or the leg of a bed or a chair or whatever. You put the leg in here, right? That way the bugs can climb down. They can get into this middle one. But if they try to climb over top of it, they get stuck in this interior part here, in between the big and the little. And they can't climb up to get out. And if they climb over it, you know, from the outside to get to your bed, they'll get stuck in there again. Now, I've had these on my bed for over a month. And, you know, I haven't caught one bug, man. I've ripped my bed apart. I've inspected it, you know what I mean? Every little inch and corner I've sprayed rubbing alcohol into places where I can't get into, you know, to see if there's anything in there that'll come out. I've heat treated my, well, I'll get into heat treatment. But anyways, you do this for all four of your bedposts, right? You put all four of your bedposts, make sure that they're not touching, you know, you don't want them to touch so they can bypass the middle part. You want it in between. And if you're smart, you could get some tape and fold it in a circle so that it's like double tape, or glue it and put this in position and glue it or tape it there so it doesn't slide back and forth. Now you have, and you can put poison in there too. You don't have to just put baby powder in there. You put some poison, DE, which is diatomaceous earth, I forget how you pronounce it, but it's sea light, and that doesn't kill them, but probably 50% of them that walk through it will get killed. And you put it on a real fine powder. You get like, you know, something like this, where you got a little spout, or like maybe a mustard bottle that has a spout on it and it's cleaned out. You put the DE in there. It's real powdery, you know what I mean? It's real fine, so when you squeeze the bottle, you know what I mean? If you fill this up with DE and it's all dry, you squeeze the bottle, it'll come out in a fine spray like. You can spray it along your baseboards and in your furniture and, you know, all that kind of stuff. But do it real fine. Because half of the things that track through there, the particles get stuck to their back, it dries them up, and that's what kills them. It dries out their exoskeleton on their back or whatever. And not exoskeleton, but their shell or whatever. And that kills them. Okay, but it takes, even if it kills them, it takes about 4 or 5 days. So you want to mix this up with some poison, you know what I mean? Give them some poison too. And put this on your chairs. And you just want a barrier. I have a little bit of poison and some DE in here. You can see this would be your leg of your chair or whatever. Put it right in there. They come down. To get off of the chair, they have to climb through this poison and DE. They can't get off of the chair without running through this. And then they're stuck. They can't get up to get out of there. And the bugs can't get up on the outside to get in. So your chair has a barrier against these bugs, you know what I mean? And glass works too, but I mean, I can't imagine putting, you know, heavy furniture on something like this made of glass. I see that breaking easy.